You've probably heard it a million times. Exercise is amazing for your brain. It helps keep you sharp, preserves your memory, and fights off decline as you get older. But for decades, the big mystery has always been how?
I mean, really think about it. How does the physical act of moving your legs on a run send a protective signal all the way up to your brain? It sounds almost like magic, right? Well, it turns out it's just a fascinating case of long-distance communication happening inside your own body.
And the stakes here are incredibly high. On one hand, you've got the brain of someone who stays active. It's still building new neurons, it's maintaining its cognitive edge. But on the other hand, you have the sedentary brain, which faces a much higher risk of impairment and diseases like Alzheimer's. So figuring out this connection is absolutely crucial. And that search for how it works really gets at the holy grail for a lot of scientists in this field, finding something called exercise mimetics, basically exercise in a pill. Just imagine if we could give all those brain-protecting benefits to people who can't easily exercise, like the elderly or those with mobility issues. That's the ultimate goal. Okay, so this is where our detective story really begins. Scientists had a hunch that the secret wasn't in our muscles, but in some kind of secret message sent through the bloodstream. And they suspected that message was coming from the liver. And this one experiment gave them their first huge clue. It's pretty wild. They took blood from mice that exercised and injected it into old sedentary mice. And guess what happened? The couch potato mice got a boost in brain cell growth and actually got better at memory tests. This was the smoking gun. Something circulating in the blood of exercisers could actually rejuvenate an aging brain. So they analyzed the blood, and after a lot of searching, they zeroed in on a lead suspect, a protein called GPLD1. Now, this protein is made mostly in the liver, and what do you know? Its levels shoot up right after you exercise. It seemed like the perfect candidate for this secret messenger. And the case for GPLD1 just kept getting stronger. Its levels went up with exercise in both mice and in active older humans. And get this, when they artificially boosted GPLD1 in the livers of old mice, those mice got the same brain benefits as if they'd been exercising all along. The case looked pretty much closed. But then, bam, they hit a wall, a huge biological paradox. It turns out GPLD1 is a pretty big molecule. It's too large to get past the brain's super tight security system, the blood-brain barrier. So how on earth could it be helping the brain if it couldn't even get inside? It's like having a key that's too big to fit in the lock. To solve this puzzle, the investigation had to change tactics. They shifted their focus from the messenger molecule to the crime scene itself, the blood-brain barrier. And what they found is that as we get older, the brain's defenses start to get a little shaky. So think of your blood-brain barrier like the world's most exclusive security checkpoint. It's a layer of cells packed super tightly around the blood vessels in your brain. And its whole job is to control exactly what gets in and what stays out. It's protecting your precious neurons from all the junk in your blood. But here's the problem. As we age, that security checkpoint gets a little sloppy. The barrier starts to get leaky, and it lets harmful inflammatory stuff from the blood seep into the brain. And this constant low-level inflammation is a huge driver of cognitive decline. And scientists finally identified the villain causing these leaks, another protein called TNAP. In a young brain, you don't see much of it, but as we get older, it starts to build up on the surface of the blood-brain barrier, kind of like rust, making the whole structure weak and faulty. All right, so now we have all the pieces on the board. We have our hero molecule, GPLD1, we have the leaky barrier, and we have the villain protein, TNAP. The stage was finally set to solve this incredible locked room mystery. So let's just lay it out one more time. We've got our good guy, GPLD1, floating around in the blood, but it can't get into the brain. And we've got our bad guy, TNAP, causing leaks on the brain's front door. How does one stop the other? And here it is, the aha moment. And the solution is just so elegant. So you exercise. Your liver starts pumping out GPLD1. That GPLD1 travels through your blood right up to the brain's doorstep. But here's the twist. It doesn't need to go inside. Instead, it acts like a pair of molecular scissors, and it literally snips off that harmful TNAP from the outside of the barrier. By clearing away all that TNAP junk, GPLD1 patches up the barrier, seals the leaks, and stops that damaging inflammation before it can even start. It's such a cool solution because it explains everything without breaking any rules of biology. You know, if you think elegant scientific explanations like this are as fascinating as I do, definitely hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, a discovery like this isn't just a cool fact for a biology textbook. It actually changes how we can approach treating age-related brain diseases. I mean, get this, the experiment showed that this process can rejuvenate the blood-brain barrier in old mice to a state like that of a 70-year-old human. That tells us that the damage that comes with age might not be a one-way street. It can potentially be reversed.
And this opens up totally new doors for medicine. We could try to design drugs that block that villain protein, TNAP, directly, basically plugging the leaks at the source. Or we could try to develop therapies that just help our bodies make more of the good guy, GPLD1. That would be a true exercise mimetic.
And hey, this isn't just a theory. When they tested these ideas in mice that have an Alzheimer's-like condition, both boosting GPLD1 and blocking TNAP actually reduced the density of those notorious brain plaques. Even better, the mice just seemed to feel better. They were better at things like building nests, which is a key sign of well-being for them. So when you zoom out, what this research really gives us is this beautiful picture of the body as this deeply connected, integrated system. It uncovers this powerful liver-to-brain axis, where an organ way down in your torso is sending signals to protect your most important asset. It's just a profound reminder that taking care of the mind really does start with taking care of the body.